3 weeks before our daughter was born, my wife stood in front of the bathroom mirror crying. Not the hormonal crying I'd gotten used to, this was different, quieter. When I asked what was wrong, she just said nothing and smiled. I stood there completely paralyzed, knowing something was wrong, but having no idea what she needed. So I did what felt safe. I asked if she wanted ice cream. She said yes, but I could see it in her eyes. I'd missed something. I'm Dan, and I've been exactly where you are. Hit subscribe so you don't miss the rest of this series. If you've ever felt that gut punch moment when you realize your partner is struggling but won't tell you what she needs, you're not alone. Pregnancy creates this impossible dynamic where she's going through the most physically and emotionally demanding experience of her life, but she doesn't want to seem needy or demanding, so she stays quiet. And we're left guessing. Today, I'm breaking down the 7 things your partner desperately needs during pregnancy but will never ask for. Not because she doesn't need them, but because asking feels like admitting weakness or being a burden. We'll talk about why she won't ask, how to recognize the need, and what to actually do about it. This isn't about mind reading, it's about understanding the invisible emotional labor of pregnancy and showing up before she has to ask. Number 1. Reassurance that she's still attractive. Her body is changing in ways she can't control. Every mirror becomes a referendum on whether you still find her desirable. She won't ask, "Do you still think I'm beautiful?" because it sounds desperate, but she's watching how you look at her. She's noticing if you touch her less. She's cataloging every moment your eyes don't light up the way they used to. Here's what most guys get wrong. When she comments negatively about her body, we say you look great. But she doesn't believe you. She thinks you're being nice or obligated. Attraction during pregnancy isn't about pretending nothing's changed. It's about showing that the changes don't diminish your desire. Try this instead. When she talks about feeling huge or uncomfortable, say something like, "I love seeing my baby growing in you. You're creating our child. That's the most attractive thing I've ever witnessed." It's specific. It acknowledges reality. It connects her changing body to something meaningful rather than denying the change exists. And here's the critical part. Show physical affection without expecting sex. Untouch her belly with reverence, not awkwardness. Kiss her shoulder when you walk past. Hold her hand. These small touches communicate desire without pressure. They say, "I still want to be close to you," even when sex isn't on the table. She has it infinitely harder than you. While you're figuring out what to say, she's living in a body that feels foreign and uncomfortable. Your reassurance costs you nothing. Her confidence affects everything. Number 2. Help with physically difficult tasks without being asked. She can't see her feet. Bending hurts. Standing too long exhausts her, but asking for help makes her feel weak or burdensome. So she'll keep doing things that hurt because admitting she can't feels like failure. Take inventory of what's become harder and handle it automatically. Put her shoes on for her when you're heading out. Undo the laundry without mentioning it. Take over any chores requiring bending or lifting. Bring the groceries in. Pick up things she drops. Cook dinner more often. Here's the key. Don't wait for her to ask, don't make a production of it, and never keep score. When she says you don't have to do that, respond with, "I know I want to." This removes the burden of asking and the guilt of needing help. I started noticing everything my wife physically struggled with around week 30. Putting on socks, loading the dishwasher, getting up from the couch. I just started doing those things. No announcement, no recognition seeking. Just done. It changed everything because she stopped spending energy deciding whether to ask for help or push through pain. You're not helping her. You're co-navigating a shared transition where she happens to carry the physical burden. These aren't her tasks you're taking over. They're household responsibilities you're handling because your partner's body is doing something extraordinary. Number 3. Patience when she's uncomfortable or emotional. She's in pain. She's exhausted. Her hormones are chaos. And she knows it's not your fault, which makes her feel guilty for being irritable. She won't ask for patience because that sounds like asking for permission to be difficult. Here's the framework you need. Her emotions aren't overreactions. They're proportional responses to physical and hormonal chaos you can't see. She's operating with constant discomfort you'd find intolerable. Back pain, nausea, heartburn, insomnia, shortness of breath, all day, every day for months. When she snaps at you about something small, remember she's doing it while exhausted and uncomfortable. Don't say calm down or it's just hormones. Those phrases minimize her experience and make her feel dismissed. Try this instead. I know you're dealing with a lot right now. What do you need from me? Sometimes she needs to vent. Sometimes she needs space. Sometimes she needs you to hold her while she cries about something that seems small but feels enormous. I'll be honest, I failed at this constantly. I'd get defensive when she snapped. I'd try to solve problems when she needed to vent. I'd withdraw when she seemed angry because I didn't know what else to do. Learning patience meant accepting that her emotions weren't about me, even when they were directed at me. Your discomfort at being snapped at is nothing compared to her discomfort existing in a body that's betraying her daily. This isn't about excusing disrespect. It's about extending grace during the hardest physical experience of her life. Number 4, initiative in preparing for baby. She's carrying the physical burden. Don't make her carry the entire mental load too. She won't ask you to research car seats or schedule pediatrician interviews because she doesn't want to nag. But she's terrified she'll have to manage everything while also growing a human. Proactively own specific preparation tasks. Tell her, I'm handling the car seat research. I'll present you with the top 3 options. Then actually do it. Install the base before she asks. Build the crib without waiting for a weekend, she suggests. Read one parenting book, just one, so she's not the only one preparing mentally. This shows you're equally invested in becoming a parent, not just waiting for her to delegate tasks. It removes the burden of project managing you. It proves you see the preparation as shared responsibility, not helping her get ready for her baby. I remember my wife crying at week 35 because she'd scheduled the pediatrician interviews, researched baby monitors, ordered nursery furniture, and planned the hospital bag, while I'd done essentially nothing. I thought I was waiting for instructions. She thought I didn't care. I was paralyzed by not knowing where to start. She was drowning in having to figure out everything alone. Pick one thing. Own it completely. Then pick another. You don't have to do everything, but you have to do something without being asked. Number 5. Acknowledgment of how hard pregnancy is. Everyone tells her pregnancy is beautiful and magical. Nobody acknowledges it's also brutal. She won't complain because society expects gratitude. She's supposed to glow and be grateful and never admit she's miserable. Give her permission to hate it sometimes. Name the difficulty out loud. Say things like, what you're going through is incredibly hard. Your body is doing something extraordinary and it's taking everything from you. When she apologizes for being tired, say, you're growing a human. You don't need to apologize for needing rest. When she complains about discomfort, that sounds awful. I'm sorry you're dealing with that. Don't try to fix or minimize, just witness and validate. Yeah, this permission to admit struggle without guilt is a gift. She needs to hear that hating pregnancy doesn't make her ungrateful. That struggling doesn't mean she won't be a good mom. That finding this hard is normal, not weak. I watched my wife suffer through months of nausea, back pain, and insomnia while everyone told her how lucky she was. She'd smile and say she was grateful. But at home, she'd cry from exhaustion and guilt because she wasn't enjoying every moment. When I finally said it's okay to hate this sometimes, she broke down. She'd been holding in months of misery because she thought admitting it meant something was wrong with her. Your validation costs nothing. Her permission to struggle means everything. Number 6. Quality time before everything changes. She knows life is about to transform completely. And part of her is grieving the partnership you have now while being excited for what's coming. She won't ask for date nights because baby expenses feel more important, and her body feels too uncomfortable to go out. Prioritize connection before transition. Plan dates, even simple ones. Go to dinner, see a movie. Take a weekend trip if possible. Make time to talk about things other than the baby. Reminisce about your relationship. Take photos together. These moments become anchors when you're both sleep deprived and disconnected in the newborn fog. You're investing in the relationship that will need to sustain you through the hardest season. You're reminding each other that you're partners first, parents second. My wife and I took one final weekend away at week 36, just 2 days. We talked about our relationship, our fears, our hopes, yet we laughed. We remembered why we chose each other. 3 months into newborn hell, when we were too exhausted to connect, we'd look at photos from that weekend and remember we were still in there somewhere. You won't regret prioritizing connection. You'll regret assuming you'll have time later. Number 7. Emotional support around labor and motherhood fears. She's terrified of labor. She's terrified she won't know what to do with the baby. She's terrified she'll fail as a mother. She won't voice these fears because admitting them feels like weakness or inadequacy. Create safe space for fear without trying to fix it. Ask directly, what are you most scared about? Then listen. Don't minimize with, you'll be great, or don't worry. Those responses dismiss her fear and shut down vulnerability. Try this. That fear makes complete sense. Labor is intense and motherhood is unknown territory. But I'll be right there with you and we'll figure it out together. Here's the game changer. Share your own fears. Admit your terror of labor or holding a newborn. Admitting your fear gives her permission to be honest about hers. Fear shared is fear halved. I was terrified of everything. Labor, the delivery room, holding a fragile newborn, not knowing what her cries meant. But I didn't say anything because I thought I needed to be confident for her. When I finally admitted I was scared, she cried with relief. She'd been carrying her fear alone, thinking she was the only one terrified. Sharing our fear made us partners in it, rather than her feeling isolated in hers. You're not expected to have answers. You're expected to be present in the uncertainty with her. Here's what I wish I'd understood that night in front of the bathroom mirror. My wife didn't need ice cream. She needed to hear that even with a huge belly and swollen feet and all the discomfort, I still found her beautiful. She needed reassurance she didn't know how to ask for because asking felt pathetic. Learning to see invisible needs takes practice and mistakes. You won't get it perfect. You'll offer solutions when she needs validation. You'll stay silent when she needs reassurance. You'll wait to be asked when you should have stepped up. That's not failure, that's partnership. She's not asking because asking feels like admitting she can't handle it. So asking her what she needs defeats the purpose. You have to learn to see without being told. Pay attention, try, miss sometimes, adjust. Show up before she asks. Now, this is the foundation of the parenting partnership ahead. The ability to anticipate needs, to show up proactively, to validate struggle, to carry what you can so she doesn't carry everything. You're capable of this. Not because it comes naturally, but because you're willing to learn. That's all partnership requires: attention, effort, and the willingness to keep trying when you miss the mark. She needs you, and you can be the partner she needs, even when she won't ask.